Viking helmets represent just the tip of the historical inaccuracy iceberg. Popular media has created an image of Vikings as one-dimensional raiders dressed in furs and impractical armor, screaming as they charge into battle. The reality, as we'll see, was far more complex and interesting. Vikings were skilled craftspeople, clever merchants, daring explorers, and innovative shipbuilders. Their society had sophisticated legal codes, rich artistic traditions, and extensive trade networks that stretched across continents. Did Vikings actually wear horned helmets like we see in movies? No. This iconic image is a complete fabrication from 19th century theatrical productions. The historical Vikings wore practical combat, helmets designed for real battles, not theatrical costumes designed to impress an opera audience. This disconnect between popular imagination and historical reality shows just how thoroughly mythology has replaced fact in our understanding of Viking culture. If we've been so wrong about something as visible and basic as what Vikings wore on their heads, what else might we have misunderstood about them? The horned helmet myth is just the beginning of our journey into separating Viking fact from fiction. The common view of Vikings as simple, bloodthirsty raiders is just as mistaken as the image of them wearing horned helmets into battle. These misconceptions matter because they flatten a rich and complex culture into a one-dimensional stereotype. By looking at the actual archaeological evidence rather than Hollywood inventions, we can discover a much more interesting and nuanced picture of who the Vikings really were. So, if Vikings weren't horn-helmeted berserkers focused exclusively on raiding, what were they doing for those 3 centuries that made such a mark on European history? Let's look at another aspect of Viking society that rarely makes it into the movies. Their remarkable achievements as traders and merchants who created an international commercial network that spanned 3 continents. Beyond raiders, the Viking trading empire. What if I told you Vikings were more like international business people than the bloodthirsty raiders we see in TV shows? While Hollywood loves to show Vikings charging into monasteries with axes raised, archaeology tells us they spent far more time trading than raiding. These Norse merchants created one of the most impressive commercial networks of the medieval world, connecting 3 continents through reliable trade routes that would make modern logistics companies jealous. The Viking trading network was truly remarkable for its time. During the 8th to 11th centuries, most Europeans rarely traveled more than 20 miles from their homes. Meanwhile, Vikings were sailing from Scandinavia to North Africa, the Middle East, and even North America. They established trading posts from Newfoundland to Baghdad, creating commercial connections between peoples who otherwise would never have interacted. This shouldn't really surprise us. Raiding is risky, unpredictable, and creates enemies. Trading, on the other hand, builds wealth, creates allies, and offers more sustainable profits. Smart Vikings figured this out quickly. Why risk your life stealing silver when you could make a fortune selling walrus, ivory, amber, and furs to eager buyers abroad? The problem with our understanding of Vikings comes down to who wrote the history. Monks whose monasteries were attacked by Vikings wrote detailed accounts of these traumatic raids. Meanwhile, the countless peaceful trading voyages went largely unrecorded. It's like judging modern America solely by crime reports while ignoring everything else people do daily. Fortunately, archaeology gives us a more balanced picture. Let's look at what archaeologists have actually found. Across Scandinavia, excavations have uncovered thousands of Arabic silver coins called dirhams. These weren't stolen in raids, they were earned through trade. In Sweden alone, over 85,000 Islamic coins have been discovered, with most dating to the Viking Age. These coins traveled thousands of miles for mints in places like Baghdad, Damascus, and Samarkand before reaching Nordic hands through extensive trade networks. The Vikings' eastern trade route was particularly impressive. Starting from Sweden, Viking merchants would sail across the Baltic Sea to what is now Russia. From there, they navigated a complex network of rivers, including the Volga and Dnieper. These waterways allowed them to reach the Black Sea and Caspian Sea, opening access to Constantinople, modern Istanbul, and the wealthy Islamic world beyond. This eastern route became so important that the Vikings who traveled it regularly became known as the Rus, the people who eventually gave Russia its name. Arabic writers from the period described these Norse merchants arriving in Baghdad with their valuable northern goods. Ibn Fadlan, an Arab diplomat who met Viking traders in the 920s, wrote detailed accounts of these Rus merchants and their customs, providing rare first-hand descriptions. What exactly were Vikings trading? From the north, they brought items that were common to them but exotic and valuable elsewhere. Furs from forest animals like fox, marten, and beaver were highly prized by wealthy buyers in the south. Walrus ivory provided a popular alternative to elephant ivory, especially for intricate carvings and luxury items. Amber from the Baltic coast, with its golden color and unique properties, was valued for jewelry and medicine. Vikings also traded slaves captured during raids or wars, honey, wax, and iron weapons. In return, they received silver coins, bronze, copper, colorful glass beads, expensive spices, silk from China, and exotic fruits and nuts. These luxury items found in Viking graves show the impressive reach of their trade networks. Archaeologists have discovered Buddha figurines from India, cowrie shells from the Red Sea, and silk from China, all in Viking burial sites. A Viking woman buried in Norway was found wearing a ring inscribed with the Arabic phrase for Allah, clear evidence of these intercontinental connections. The Western trade routes were equally impressive. Vikings from Denmark and Norway established trading posts across the British Isles, Ireland, France, and as far south as the Mediterranean. They navigated the difficult Atlantic waters with remarkable skill, reaching Iceland, Greenland, and even North America centuries before Columbus. At each location, they traded local goods and connected previously isolated economies. Archaeological finds in Dublin, York, and Hedeby show these were bustling market towns where goods from across the known world changed hands.